So a while back, there was a big rumor floating around about how there's going to be a Kingdom Hearts Disney Plus show that was going to be happening within some time in the future. This kind of went on for quite a while, and honestly, I think we all kind of said what we had to say on the topic. And honestly, back then, I wasn't really the biggest fan of a Kingdom Hearts anime, purely just because, especially if the 2E anime is anything to go by, which is a good show in its own right, but I feel like game to anime adaptations, they don't usually do them out well. I feel if you want to tell the story proper, give it multiple seasons. Don't try to stuff a whole 20, 30 hour RPG into 12 episodes, or something like that. I just genuinely think that if a game needs or an anime needs more time to be told, then it should be given that time. Just like a game will be given more hours if it wants to tell its story it wants to be told. So I feel like that was just something I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see them try to tell Kingdom Hearts' one story in freaking 12 episodes, and then the impact of a lot of the development and character of these people just wouldn't come across as well. Like, I know some people that tried to get into the World Ends With You through the anime, and they kind of didn't see what all the hubbub was about, when anybody who's played the game would know exactly why it's so beloved. And that's why I would never, ever recommend you watch the anime for that game instead of playing the game yourself, just because the anime does not do it justice and actively does it a disservice in a lot of areas. But that is my own personal opinion. But when it comes to a Kingdom Hearts anime, someone during my live stream of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories did really tell me that, honestly, something that I hadn't even really considered. They said they did want a Kingdom Hearts anime, but they feel if they were going to make a Kingdom Hearts anime of anything in the series, they think the Key series would be the best. And I legitimately hadn't even considered that, not even once. And then everything just started to make sense. Now, I genuinely do agree with that. I do think the Key series would make the best Disney Plus anime, mainly just because, again, if you're not going to do anything else in the series, it wouldn't make sense to not do Kingdom Hearts 1, because that's where it starts. Like, they wouldn't go and make an anime off of Kingdom Hearts 3, if you know what I mean. Union Cross makes the most sense because, while again, they do assume you have played other games in the series and stuff like that, it is largely disconnected to the events that have yet to happen in terms of the timeline. So a lot of these characters, in search of, what people will be watching, are completely original characters that hadn't been anywhere else yet. Like Ephemers isn't introduced in Kingdom Hearts 1 or something, and you need to know about him through that game in order to watch this anime. No, you meet him throughout the Key series and stuff like that, and really, get to know his character throughout it. And that's basically the same for every character in this. So I genuinely think that this would make the best starting point, mainly because, again, there's already been rumors of a Kingdom Hearts Disney Plus show. So if anything had to be made, I'm pretty sure Disney and Square are probably thinking along the same lines. I think this would also help because, again, they wouldn't have to water down all these worlds and the type of story they're going for, mainly because the Key series was really shown to us in an episodic mission-based structure. So this story was told in bite-sized pieces, and I feel that's the best way to translate a game into a television show. So we wouldn't have to necessarily worry about how are we going to pace this and all that stuff. The game kind of paces itself, I feel like you can get through a world, or at least a few missions of a world and stuff like that, throughout a singular episode. Kind of like how manga chapters are usually, when they get their anime adaptations, there's usually about 3 chapters in a singular episode of an anime. And I feel like that's a really good starting point because you can make active progress throughout an arc and keep the pacing on track. And I genuinely think that would work well with how Union Cross is done, especially since there's hundreds of missions and stuff like that. It would really end up getting the ball rolling, so we're not feeling like we're just meandering for a whole season or something like that. If we are going to get a Key series anime at all, I would rather it just be called Kingdom Hearts Key, and be promoted as the beginning of everything and stuff like that. We go over the original series, we go over Unchained, we go over back cover, we go over Union Cross, and hopefully by the time it comes out, it would be Missing Link as well, because I just want all of this mobile game stuff, which I guess in the end, would be every single mobile game. There's another I haven't mentioned, but it's also not finished yet. But I'd rather it all get wrapped up in a singular structure. And what's even better, I would really, really prefer that once this whole anime thing would be finished, I would like for it to be put on maybe the PlayStation Store, as the Kingdom Hearts Key series, and of course it's just, an anime or something like that. But they sell anime and movies and stuff like that on PlayStation anyway, and you can see shows on Steam. You might not see it that often, but I think overall it would be something that would in the end make it more accessible for people who don't want to go and play something or get vital story from their phone. Again, I don't think anybody has a problem with the structure or the gameplay or anything like that of these games. I don't think that's the main reason for a lot of people. For most people, it's vital story being on a phone. And again, let's be real here. I'm not necessarily saying that phone games aren't accessible. Dang near most people on this planet, or at least actively participate in the gaming sphere, do have access to a smartphone that could probably even play these games since they're not really demanding. But I genuinely think that most people who are into this story-based kind of gaming sphere don't want to get into really story-based games over their phone. At least me in particular, I don't really care for that, because it just feels like if I were to go and play something on my phone, I'm actively neutering my life for maybe the next hour or two. I can't go on Twitter easy. I can't go check, Discord, things like that. I'd have to go and use something else to go and check those. And think about the people who don't have a computer like I do in that instance. Yeah, I can go and just go on the computer and look at Twitter. I can go on the computer and look at Discord. But those people that are mainly just PlayStation users and they have their phone, that's basically all they have. If they were to go and take that phone and play a game on that, they can't check Discord. They can't go and check Twitter. They'd actively have to fully devote to playing this story-based game on their phone for an hour. It's harder to pause and just go walk away and do something else, or when you go and take a call, you got to go and close the game or, minimize the game or whatever, play it in the background or something. It just overall seems like a more inconvenience to take that phone away from somebody. That's just why I think it would work better, being able to just put it on Steam or just put it on Epic Game Store or just put it on PlayStation Store. I think that would work the best for a lot of people if it was, when it's done, and fully all the episodes are out, putting it on there this way. And I also think an anime would work better too, rather than just another Unreal Engine styled movie, just because, again, while the Unreal Engine styled movie was great and everything, if we're going to have, the entire series done, honestly, in the end, it may actually have been easier being doing that way, which, let's be real here, if we might get a Kingdom Hearts show, it might be in the Unreal Engine style, just because it might be easier to do that than to 2D animate everything. If I had to be picky, I would prefer the 2D animation, just because I would love to see 2D animated Kingdom Hearts battles and stuff like that. I just think that'd be really cool. But I also know that it's easier to get lazy with the 3D animation and stuff like that, because it actively looks better. Sometimes it requires more effort to fully animate it in certain ways, and stuff. Not necessarily calling anybody lazy, but I know what these kind of things can happen so I would prefer 2D animation, especially since I know a lot of anime are doing full 3D and stuff nowadays, but especially since Kingdom Hearts has always been that way, so it might be easier to identify with people if the anime look like the games. So I think some people would like that, especially since this whole Key series thing has actively been 2D the whole time, but mainly through the chibis. But I just think an anime style would work best. It would really hit people that, they just really made a Kingdom Hearts anime, or maybe they could even blend the two like how the Tui anime did. I think they did a really good job with how it animated, though I do think the fights were lacking. They only used one move, or it was over in 10 seconds. I still think 2D animation would work best, but if I had to get some 3D, I would rather them blend the two. But That's basically what I think. What do you all think? Do you think that Union Cross and the whole Key series would work best as a Disney Plus anime, or 3D animated show? Is that something you'd be interested in, or would you just prefer them to take the time they need, maybe next 6 years or so, and just make a regular game out of all of it? I'm sure most of us would agree we'd rather play through that whole adventure in a traditional style. I get that. But would you be opposed to us getting this rather than not getting anything at all? Some people are fine with how things are. You'd be surprised how many people are just fine with how this whole thing with the whole mobile games and stuff, really is. If they don't mind having to go on YouTube and watching the cutscenes, they don't mind if they have to go and play mobile games. I did enjoy playing Union Cross. I did enjoy it for a while. It's hard for me to stick with it. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let's keep it non-toxic and just try to go in with an open mind and see what everybody likes to think and stuff. But let me know in the comments what you all think. If you haven't already, hit the like button for your boy and let me know you guys like Kingdom Hearts videos, and subscribe to the channel if you like more videos like this one. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember everyone to play some games, have some fun, and enjoy your day today.